My name is Dr. Rob Melvin. I was the Program Director for the Alfred Hotel Support Services Program, which was a unique program that Alfred Health set up to support the hotel quarantine program in Victoria. The health challenges that my research was aiming to solve was looking at how the hotel quarantine program in Victoria for COVID-19 impacted the designated emergency department, which was the Alfred Emergency and Trauma Centre. So the research that we undertook was looking to see how many patients who are in quarantine required to come to the Alfred Emergency Department, and for what reason, and then to look to see what then happened to those patients. Did they go back to hotel quarantine? Were they admitted to hospital? The purpose was to try and gain an understanding on the impact of the quarantine program on a public hospital, and to see whether there was a significant impact in admissions or whether the hotel quarantine program was able to support a lot of these patients. My research with my team involved a retrospective cohort study looking at a 6-month period from when we started, when Alfred Health started being involved in hotel quarantine, looking at the number of emergency department presentations from the whole quarantine program and the number and types of presentations to the Alfred Emergency Department. One of the aims for this research that we published was to look back on what we did and how we did it, to see whether the hotel quarantine program was increasing the work for the emergency department, or actually, as we suspected, had reduced the amount of presentations to the emergency department. For COVID-19, obviously a new pandemic, this was the first time that hotel quarantine had been used for such an infectious pandemic. And so we were all learning new ways of working, and there was very little research or literature to support what we were doing. The outcomes of this study, which was the first of its kind to be published in Australia at least, showed that the impact of the hotel quarantine program on the designated emergency department was small. We actually found that we saw less than 1 patient per day from the entire hotel quarantine program at the Alfred Emergency Department. This is despite there being over 16,000 people who went through quarantine during the study period, and of that less than 1 patient per day, we found that over 50% were able to be returned safely to the quarantine program, many of whom then were returned to the Alfred-run health hotels, and so were able to be supported from a health perspective during the remainder of their quarantine period. This research suggests that having a health service involved in the quarantine program is beneficial in supporting, from a health perspective, people staying in the hotel rather than needing acute transfer to hospital or acute admission to hospital.